So I get a lot of questions from people asking me whether or not they should carry a 22 for self-defense. And this is the FN 502 Tactical, which is one of my favorite 22 semi-automatic handguns. So I am not anti-22 for self-defense from a carry standpoint. But I do believe 90% of the people don't need to carry a 22. And here's why. There are two big concerns when it comes to carrying a gun for self-defense: stopping power and reliability. So let's start with the stopping power. I know some people don't like that word stopping power, but it is what it is. Some bullets do a better job at stopping people from trying to kill you than other bullets. The 22 doesn't exactly have a reputation for doing that. I'm not saying that it can't, it's just where you actually hit a person with a 22 is exceedingly more important compared to, say, a 9mm in other rounds. You can do it, but it doesn't really necessarily have the energy that, say, a 9, 40, or 45, or even 380s would have. And then you also got to factor in when you'd be carrying the firearm. If you're carrying it in the summer, probably a little bit better, because the most that anyone would have on would be a t-shirt. If you're carrying it in the winter, you got to deal with the fact that people are wearing bigger jackets. And the 22 doesn't actually have a reputation of penetrating that well compared to other calibers. But the concern that people have is recoil. And I do believe that in 2021, with the advancements in firearm technology with respect to bullets, guns are doing a lot better job of maintaining or mitigating recoil. So I think people tend to not give enough effort towards shooting a 9mm or even a 380 enough times to get used to the recoil where it's no longer an issue. Whereas with the 22, it does recoil very light. It is very fun to shoot. And it has a lot of great features that lend itself to being a great plinking and training gun for fundamentals. But for self-defense, the jury's still kind of out there. And because there are other rounds that only recoil a little bit more, it just makes it more worth it to kind of maybe consider those. But it is better than nothing.
Have you ever thought about making a living in the firearm industry? If you enjoy gun repairs, ballistics, and learning about firearms, Sonoran Desert Institute online courses might just be a good fit for you. To find out more about them, visit www.sdi.edu today.
Then there's the issue of reliability. 22s aren't known to be the most reliable cartridges, especially out of handgun platforms, especially semi-automatic handgun platforms. This 502 Tactical, thus far, I honestly have had no real issues with it. I guarantee you though, if I get it dirty enough, it probably will. That is pretty much the case for every 22 handgun. But thus far, this gun has been great. So that would mean you'd have to clean your gun meticulously. And are you someone who's going to clean your gun meticulously? Then you have to factor in whether or not you can actually afford the rounds necessary to run in this gun. Because yes, bulk 22 ammo is cheap, but self-defense style 22 ammo is not so much that cheap. And then you have to factor in whether or not that particular ammo style works with your particular gun. So that means you have to shoot it a lot just to make sure whether or not it is reliable enough for you to carry for self-defense. Now, all of these things are not that bad. You pretty much have to do them with every other caliber. But just understand that when it comes to 22, there are limitations and trade-offs that you get. Sure, it recoils really light. They're really fun to shoot. However, with that comes a lack of an ability to be a fight stopper if you find yourself in a situation where someone's attacking you. And then on top of that, capacity. Most 22s aren't really that high in capacity. And when you're talking about a round as small as a 22, you want as many rounds as possible. Now, in this case, the 502 Tactical, you get magazines that have 15 rounds in it. So that's great, because that's on par with a lot of other guns out there in different calibers. But for the most part, you're gonna have a limited capacity. So keep that in mind as well. So that was the long version. Now, if you're in the 10% that has a medical condition that makes it hard for you to rack a slide or deal with, or you're very sensitive to recoil, by all means, get a 22, learn to use it, and carry it on you all the time. However, for 90% of you all, I get it. You probably want a 22. The ones that want a 22 are considering it for self-defense. I'm not saying don't do it, just understand the limitations and the trade-offs that come with doing it so that you're not surprised. But at the end of the day, as the saying goes, and as cliche as it is It's still very true. A 22 is better than nothing.
Guns aren't political. That's why I need your help getting this message to spread on YouTube by clicking the thumbs up button, leaving a comment to let me know what you think of the video, then subscribing to the channel. But most importantly, click that bell symbol. For products featured in this video, click the links in the description.